Okay, sports fans, welcome, and this in my next series on how to be a Twitter ninja. And in this particular video, I want to show you Twhirl. And the cool thing about Twhirl is it's actually a very, very powerful tool once you know how to use it. So let's go to the computer screen here. Now, I'll just bring these down in the center. You can see I've got actually two Twhirl windows open, and that's something that you need to know, that you can have multiple accounts. And I tell you what, multiple accounts are a great idea on Twitter because you might have one for your marketing persona, and then you might have one that is your private Twitter that you just have for your friends, so to keep up socially. And that's a great place to do all that IM style Twitter work. Obviously, I use my Ed Dale account as my major way of communicating with you guys, so I don't tend to chat on it because I don't think you'd want to hear me chat or see me chat. But I'm even going to show you how you can chat using this thing with this type of account and still get the respect of people. I also hope to show you why I don't follow that many people, because as you'll see with Twhirl, if I'm interested in a particular topic, I know exactly how to bring that up straight away. Alright, let's get to it. First up here we have our, you can see my Twhirl account is here, and obviously the most important thing to do is to just type and do a tweet. So let's do that first. Hi everyone, I'm doing the video right now. Be famous and at @Ed_Dale me. Now I'm going to explain to you what this @EdDale business is and how you can use it specifically, because it's one of the most powerful parts of Twitter, and again another reason why you don't have to go following everybody and still have a communication with them. And literally all we have to do is click the little tick here, boom, and there we have it. And so boom, you can see up here, hi everyone, I'm doing a video right now, be famous and at @EdDale me, and I damn put up the it's an underscore, not a hyphen. That's alright, so we'll do that. So the next thing I want to do is I'm just going to grab a random URL here. Let me see if I've got something here. Yeah, here we are, perfect. Just boom.
G'day gang, Ed Dale here again, and continuing on our series on Twitter and showing you how to use it to its most effective.
Doesn't want to go over there, so
I need
I'm
to
just
show,
going to
I need
basically
to show
saw
you how
that
to
there,
use
so I'm just going to copy
application.
that URL.
You'll
Now, the trouble is when you paste
I showed you how to get your Twitter account.
There we are, because you wouldn't have been hearing me. When you paste a long URL like that, for example, it's long and it takes up a lot of your space and a lot of your tweet. So one of the first things that Twhirl's done, which I think is great, and it gives you control over whether you want to do this or not. Sometimes you don't want to shorten your URL. Makes sense, okay? Sometimes you don't want to do it. But in this case, rather than, and I'm just going to cut that, if you want to shorten your URL, you can do something. Click this little link here, click shorten, and you can then paste the URL in, and you've actually got a choice of services there to shorten. I like is good. I don't know why, I just do. Mainly because I suppose it's the shortest of the URLs on offer there. So I click shorten. Look at this, bam, automatically done. Very cool, way cool. And I can just make a tweet then. This is the video shot on how to, this is going to freak people out while they're watching all this, how to install Twhirl. And I'll just click bam to update. Okay, so that's the first part of that. That's a very simple operation. Let's start having a look at some of the other things that we can do here. you can do various things here, and I don't even use many of these. There are filters, and I imagine if you're following lots and lots of people, you're going to really need to use filters a lot. I don't, and I'll show you how I keep up with everything my way. You can mark all the scene, you can refresh so you can get the most fresh tweets, and obviously you can clear your tweet as well. So that's that. Now I want to go up to the top here of Twhirl and check out the configuration, because there's a couple of cool things here. So you've always got the option to hide when minimized. You can always have it floating on top. I like the fact I put it right out of the way, and I also it dims. Basically, it's very clever. It dims out when you're not focused on it, which is really good. Now you can look up profiles, retweet format. Now people have asked what's retweeting. If I get a tweet that's really interesting and I want to send that to all of you guys, then I use retweet. It says as Barb would say, retweeting is like attribution, which is, I think, a very cool thing. You can also see here, and this is super cool, is that I can automatically have Twhirl update Pounce and JQ, two other services that are similar to Twitter, not as popular, but they have their market bases. And so if I'm doing a tweet, why not update those services at the same time? You've got all sorts of visual options and so on. I keep most of this stuff pretty stock standard, but you do have a lot of things. You can have notify. You've got to be careful about the whole notify thing, because, as I say, if you're a big follower of people, it's just going to sound like a slot machine, as I said in the other video. So you'd probably turn that off. Because I don't follow many people, and the people that I do follow, I really want to hear from them, I leave it on. So it brings a bit of excitement to my day, you know. So you can see the notifications there and so on, and there you can see network usage. Again, I just keep this completely standard, and you just click save to have those. So let's check that out. And yes, let's see who's we've got Guru Bob. What? I'm already famous. He's already famous. Jeez, get pants on. Somebody with a cool guitar there, Flute Frio. What up? Am I famous now? Yes, you are. Thanks for all the great videos and 30-day challenge, Web Success Diva. Thank you. No worries at all. Now, here's the cool thing. People were concerned about the way I do Twitter because I'm not following and followee, that I'm not able to maintain two-way conversation. Wrong. Now, I am, as it happens, following Guru Bob, but I'm not following Flute here, and I'm not following Web Success Diva. So what I wanted to do is basically say a thank you, and this is where this @ thing becomes so important, because here's the cool thing. I can @ Barack Obama, I can @ Hillary Clinton, I can @ Scobalizer, I can @ anybody, and if I do, they will see it. It will come up in their Twitter feed, and I love this. People think, oh, that's shocking. In my experience, if people have got something to say, good, bad, or indifferent, you want to know about it. And this is just such a cool mechanism for doing it, because a lot of like junk mail filters and email is just, people would be horrified at the email delivery statistics. So you can do this, and the way to do this without offending everybody else is this. You can see here I've got Web Success Diva here, and I'm going to click. Notice when I put my mouse over, I've got some options. I've got an @ to send a reply, and that's what I'm going to use. But also I want to show you, I can also do a direct message. If I use direct message, that will go directly to her and won't show up in any of my feeds. And it'll actually also generate an email as well, in most cases, if that's how you've set it up in Twitter. I'm pretty sure the default is you get an email as well. So with Web Success Diva here, she said, thanks for the video. Now, if in the old days, what would happen if you replied, you're very welcome, everybody would see that. And that's what I talk about, where it's rude if you're conducting a conversation for people. But by using this @ symbol and a reply, at Web Success Diva, I can go, you're very welcome. And now famous in video. And I wish I could spell, but anyway, you get the idea. And I can click, now if I click tick, boom, that's sent. But here's the cool thing. All of you who are following me on Twitter would not see that message. If you went to my actual Twitter page or you were following my feed in RSS, you would see that particular @ and I think that's a good way to do it. And I also include these @ messages in my blog post, my daily summaries of my Twitter activity, because I think it sometimes can add an element of interest, I think, to what's going on. But now, if everybody's using the right I suppose etiquette, if you will, then that message will only go back to Web Success Diva and it won't show up. Now, some mistakes people make is if I include @Web Success Diva anywhere but at the very front of my message, that will go into my main Twitter feed stream. So you've got to use that judiciously. Sometimes if you have a reply and you want to reply in such a way that you want everybody to know about it, then that's this trick. Put the @ at the end of the line or in the middle of the line. Very cool thing to do. So, oh, look at this, it's going off. And see the responsiveness of Twitter? This is what makes it insane. Its response is like this. It's amazing. So let's have a look here. Let me show you something else. So I'll send a direct message. Now, the thing with direct messages, there are only 2 circumstances you can send a direct message. When you are indeed following a person, and they are your friend, they have accepted you, or they've sent you a message like this. And so I can go, you sure are, baby. Sweet axe. And click Ticko. Boom, he's now got a direct message. That won't show up on any feeds anywhere. So what have we got? Sarah Harris, hi, don't want to be famous, just happy. Let's hope you're both. See how quickly you can dispense with all this activity, and why I don't mind receiving Twitter @ where they go @Ed Dale and I instantly get it, because tweets force you to be succinct, brief, and to the point. And in this day and age, that's worth its weight in gold. Let's hope you're both. Thanks for responding. So there we are. Okay, so we've got some time now. For example, let me show you some other elements. So with Guru Bob here, I'm going to do a retweet, which means all of you are going to get this. Now, in the next video, even more so. So now this, you'll actually get this in your Twitter feed. You'll probably go, what the heck's he talking about? And to save space, you can get rid of the Ed Dale because everybody knows it's coming from you. And I've got the retweeting. Remember, you can play with that, so you could use your own cool word if you like. And I can click tick. Are you starting to see how much more manageable Twitter is when you use it with Twhirl? It just really makes a big difference. Ed, we just had a webinar on Twhirl for my private classroom. There you go. Good on you, Marty. That's fantastic. There, Barb. I've got to highlight that. What a beautiful tweet. This is my 140 characters of fame. It absolutely is. And I'm going to retweet that so everybody can see that, because that's just darn funny, Barb. So, is this my 40 frame? Yeah. It is. See how easy though it is to respond and just to manage messages. But this is not the cool part. And just to prove it, now I'm not a friend of Frank Kern's VW, which is just here next to me, but if I type at Ed _ Dale, Ed Dale is a marketing genius, and click tick, give it a moment. And the next time I update here, we'll see Frank Kearns VW. And you can see here in my timeline, we've got all of that information. So that's the first part of Twhirl. That's your basics operation of Twhirl, but Twhirl is so much more. And I've got to credit a lot of people on Twitter for teaching me all of this stuff. And for example, Guru Bob, and this is the coolest thing ever, pointed out the search function. Remember, I twittered yesterday, or a few days ago, depending on when you're watching this, about Tweet Scan and how cool it is, because it allows you to search for anything. So if I type Ed Dale doing the classic ego search into Tweet Scan, watch what happens. And click search. Check this out. So here we go. Look at this. So we've got Daniel, who didn't quite see. He used Ed-Dale because I typed it wrong. So I picked that up. Check this out, Ed Dale. So good on you. You've done it correctly. And thanks to my tweet scan, you can see all the people here who have mentioned me and who I wouldn't have seen if it wasn't for tweet scan. So here we are. This is a whole bunch of see, I've got people going off everywhere. You might notice down in the bottom corner there, actually probably that way, I don't know, and I'll hopefully catch these when I do the screen flow, is I actually have a little program on the Macintosh called Growl, which has these really cool updates, and I've got it all programmed niftily. It's a whole subject for a whole another video, but that's a very, very cool program as well. So we can have a look at, and I can just basically see what people have been saying about me. Nice, good, bad, and indifferent. If I did, let's just do another one here. Oh, and what's the cool thing about this, and why I like this functionality inside Twhirl, almost forgot the biggest thing. If I go at here, I can send a message and go, thanks, Daniel. Got it. And click tick. So I've caught, and I can jump in on conversations where they've been mentioned, but not necessarily because I'm not following the person, or they didn't directly use the @ to get hold of me. How cool is that, people? How cool is that? So if I'm interested, I don't know, Oprah. I'm sure this will be interesting. Let's hope it's at least 15. After watching Elizabeth Gilbert on Oprah, I've decided I'm definitely going to read Eat, Pray, Love. Wow, first on Ellen, second next month on Oprah. There we are. It's pleased to call her Oprah Eckert-Tolle with meets Oprah Winfrey. See, check this out. You know, heaps of stuff. So if I want to get a feel for Oprah, cool. I wonder, I've never even done this search before. Trout fishing. And you've got to understand, folks, that Twitter now, okay, is a pimple on the bottom of the internet universe. It's not going to stay that way, folks. You know, I know these things. Seriously, it's going to be huge. I can just see it, and I'm watching the trends and the charts and the amount of Twitter traffic, and it's just going out of control, which is a great thing because it serves a purpose. It's a service that could not have possibly existed without the internet. And once you understand the brilliance of it, just phenomenal. So if I try fishing, hey, look at this. 16 hours ago, I decided to go trout fishing Saturday. Haven't been for a while. First trout fishing excursion of the year. Look at this. Lured by Lake Ontario's world-class trout fishing. Hey, nice piece of little marketing there. Double thumbs up to you, Sunshine. Well done, Motorhome. In fact, I think I know Motorhome Hire. Well done to you. So you can see here that this search functionality and tweet scan functionality is just absolutely superb. You can also change, you can obviously go to timeline, so you can see Guru Bob's with his little, you can see a direct message where I've used that. I can use timeline. I can look for just replies and do them in order. I can look at my archive. I can look at favorites. I don't use favorites a heck of a lot as you can see. But hey, if you want to remember a particular tweet that you've seen and you're doing other things, hitting favourite, which is, by the way, I won't show up on the favourite screen, but there's a little love heart in the main thing. It's a great way to do that. Direct messages to people. Now you can manage friends and followers as well too. So these are my friends, and you can see here I can unfollow the user, I can send a direct message, or I can send a reply, which, remember, will show up in my feed. You won't get it unless you're following me through RSS, but you know, you can see Darth Vader there. Steve Jobs, it's not the Steve Jobs. Dan Thies, I'm very proud of Dan, because I tell you, he gave me, as we say in the classics, merry heck about Twitter. He thought it was the biggest waste of space in the universe, and there you are, Dan Thies, sprung, and now everybody knows. You should follow Dan, because Dan knows his stuff. Let me tell you, smart man. What else can we do? Oh, you can look up people for looking up names and so on. You can do all of that. You can see that this is an amazing, brilliant client for using Twitter, which is really good. You can also, you know, depending on your screen, you can play with some flexibility there. You can do all of those things. So you can see here, and good, Michelle, look at that. Look at that. And you did resist. You were one of my first ever friends on Twitter, and you left off. And you can see Asbjorn here as well. Intern to the stars. Good on you, Azzy. And there you have it. And this, do you start to get now, and I'll finish up with this point, do you understand now why I don't need to follow a lot of people? Because I know my topics of interest, so I can set up RSS feeds in TweetScan. I can do ego searches, so to make sure that, you know, 30-day challenge or Ed Dale or hamster sex, whichever of those things that I may be, you know, of relevance or interest, I can follow those and just make sure that you know, everything's been reported properly about any of those topics. So that is why I don't need to follow too many people. And I think people jump on and follow a whole bunch of people for two things. One is they think it's the thing to do, and they think it's a smart thing to do, and then rapidly realise it's a dumb thing to do, because you can see your twirl, as I say, will whiz around like a slot machine. But the other thing is that you can really focus, because I think one of the other things that people really worry about with Twitter is that it becomes a time sink. And look, the benefits of it so outweigh the potential worries of time sink. Can it be a time sink? You bet. Of course it can. But if you set it up and use it the way I use it, then I think it becomes a real tool. And it becomes a real tool and a great weapon from a marketing perspective, which is brilliant, but also just from your mates and your friends. You know, if you have a separate Twitter account for your friends, it's a very funny thing to do and set up. And it's just because it's that delivery mechanism which makes it so smooth and so seamless, and it can go to your phone and all those sorts of things which just make it so utterly powerful and compelling. Alright, that's enough for me at the moment. Hope this has been a very powerful video. I've been waiting to do this one for ages, because I think the light will turn on when people realise the power of that little @ symbol and start using it. Then they'll really, really, really get Twitter and get the power of it. So, till next time, have fun. Ciao for now.